Yeah, I heard what you said. Yes.
Hey, Trendsetters. Hey, Trendsetters. We here with this guy is so dope. His name is Jermaine Swaby. Welcome to Real Talk, Jermaine. I met Jermaine through my daughter. She had nothing but great and positive things to say about this brother. He's a reacclimated citizen. I don't want to mess up any of your story. I want you to tell your story and tell the viewers why, you know, you, why we here, Jermaine. I don't even know how to start unpeeling your layers. It's so many different aspects of this story. Talk to us,
I
talk to us
don't.
about, let's start from the very beginning. Talk to us about growing up in Brooklyn and what what how that was for you.
Okay, first of all, let me say good morning. Um, Thank you for having me, Heidi. Thank you for providing this platform for myself and other brothers like me to share our story, and hopefully inspire other young men and women out there, you know, to do better, to be their better self.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, my childhood was typically, I'm not gonna sit here and say my child, because I didn't come from a broken home. I
Right.
was fortunate enough to grow up with my mother and my father present, you know what I mean? However, that didn't deter me from the lure of the streets. And, like so many other young brothers, you know, I gravitated toward the streets at a young age. And, it ended up costing me a lot, you know. So, after going through my tribulations, you know, I made it my duty. I say, when I'm released, when I go back to society, I want to try to use my struggles to try to prevent as much young people from making the same mistakes as I made. You know what I mean? Because I
No, I
feel like
definitely.
I feel like if it was more positive role models in my community back in the days, I'm not saying that there wasn't, but if there was more, you know, maybe one of them could have got through to me. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely,
And
most definitely. Let the viewers know your story, as far as your incarceration and what led up to the details that led up to that pivotal day.
well, um, my situation around from me, my association with the raw female. I'll deal with a female that didn't really have my best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? So she put me in a in a hostile environment, which caused me to have to choose between life and death. You know,
Right.
and the result of that was me. Two lives was destroyed, and many lives was affected by the outcome of that. And um, I don't know how much detail I can get into. You know what I'm saying?
You could tell your story, bro. This is a very open platform for you to say what you need to say. And, um, so let me get this right. Jermaine served a 23-year sentence.
Hmm.
What was the charge that I don't want to?
I was arrested. I was locked up when I was 19 years old. I was arrested and convicted of murder in the second degree for killing a young man by the name of Shane. Right now,
Mhm.
Shane was a young man who, unbeknownst to me at the time, was involved in a relationship with the mother of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason why I say I fell victim to a conniving young lady because she knew that getting us together in the same place would create a hostile environment. You know what I'm saying? The outcome of that wouldn't have been good. You know what I'm saying? And she chose to use me to get him jealous or vice versa. I don't know how it works, you know what I'm saying? But she invited both of us to the same place, and he, being young and immature, whatever, because at the time I didn't even really know about him, but he knew about me because he knew that Shorty had a kid with me. You know what I'm saying? But she kept their relationship from me because she knew that, you know, if I'd have knew about that, then it would have affected, you know, the relationship she got with her baby fuck, because she know I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So she
I
kind of
get
basically kept that from me. And when that day when that happened, she brought me to to the same place where she knew he was gonna be at as a way of kind of like, I guess, to get him jealous because she was trying to like kind of end the relationship with him because it was all right. So a month prior to this happening, my baby mother, the mother of my daughter, she was arrested for murder herself, you know? And she was arrested for murder arriving from a altercation she had with a female in Flatbush, where they got into a knife fight and each of them stabbed each other. But unfortunately, the young lady died as a result of her injury. You know what I'm saying? And
um,
yeah, true story. So this happened in August of 2001. So at the time, me and her, we was not together. You know, because we had broke up months, like 2 months after my daughter was born. We broke up because of some infidelity issues and stuff like that. You know what I mean? She always accused me of cheating, so we broke up. So to get back at me, she started this relationship with this little kid out here. You know what I'm saying? Who was more her age. They was like the same age, yeah. So when that situation happened in August, her mother naturally reached out to me, like, yo, listen, you gotta come to Brookdale because Janelle's in the hospital, boom, boom. So I'm telling her mother, like, listen, you know, not for nothing. You know, me and your daughter not together no more. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Why are you calling me? So she spazzed out on me, like, mother, that's your daughter's mother, and blah, blah, blah. So to avoid the conflict, I said, all right, listen, I'm gonna come down there. I'll go to Brookdale. You know what I'm saying? See if she's all right. When I get there, she's being arrested. I find out she's being arrested because I didn't know that it was like, I just thought she got stabbed and she was in serious condition. I guess the birthday, I find out that she's being arrested for murder. So at the time, I already had prior experience with the criminal justice system from being arrested like twice before that. You know what I mean? For other stuff. So when she got jammed up, you know, naturally I coached her through it. You know what I mean? I coached her through it. I advised her to go to the grand jury because I found out that it was actually like a self-defense type of situation. So I coached her to go to the grand jury, told her what, you know what I'm saying? Let them know that it was a self-defense situation, man. And sure enough, they believed it. Cause you know, when they look at her, she looked like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? At the time, my daughter mom was like 17 years old, you know? And she mad little. So but whatever, the grand jury believed her and they released her. She came home the following month. She came home September, like right before 9/11, she came home. And you know, that whole process of me helping her do that kind of rekindled our relationship. So now she had more reason why she didn't want to keep that other relationship away from me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I got
She
you.
didn't want me to find out about that. So like 2 weeks later, I guess she was trying to end the relationship with homeboy, whatever. Ended with homeboy. That made him now knowing the type of character he was. That made him what I would say vindictive of me though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to take his girl from him. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
So about 2 weeks after that is the date of the incident could happen on the end of September, September 29th, 2001. I got some money. I got some money. So my brother came to town. I want to take my brother out. She decided she wanted to come because she think that I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go mess with girls and stuff like that. So she's, oh, I want to come out. So normally I don't take my girls to a point, but for some reason now I'm like, all right, listen, we just getting back together. I don't want to really beef her. I'm like, all right, listen, you could come. You know what I mean? Because it was really supposed to be me and my brother going out. She decided she want to come. He bring her. Then in the mix of us looking for somewhere to go, she suggests we go here, but not putting it together that she know that, you know what I'm saying? She like, yeah, my cousin Celeste gonna be over here, which is a female. We like, all right, we gonna go check it out. Word, that's my word, Heidi. that club, I knew about that club, Kalaloo, but I never went in Kalaloo a day in my life but before that night. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Because that was out of my zone. That wasn't like I ain't really have no reason to want to go party in there. It was too many parties in my area, like Warehouse, mad Caribbean cities, mad places we could have went to. For some reason, she did that. She suggests we go to Cairo. So nah, we gonna go check it out. We go in there. I don't even know that. Yeah, her cousin Celeste is there because I see when she met her, but I didn't know that she was there with a whole slew of dudes from Flatbush that they all know. You know, me being naive to all that, I'm just partying, I'm having a good time. Boom, boom. And after being there about 2 hours, I'm dancing with my baby mom. A song came on and we dancing. You know, back in the day. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Why the dude that was standing right next to me, just turned and snuffed me. Oh, out of
What?
nowhere. So,
Mm,
naturally, I start getting with him, because my natural reaction is to defend myself. So I start getting with him. So now, the dude saying he realized that I'm getting the best of his friend. He must have sent his friend to do that. You know what I'm saying? So he
right.
realized I'm getting the best of his friend. He jumps in.
Hmm.
So they call himself jumping me. So when they when they my dog, they fighting. You know what I'm saying?
You
So when
breaking
they
up,
start
breaking up.
fighting,
Okay, go ahead.
you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my daughter mother, her and Shay start fighting, and this is a dude that she's supposed to be dealing with. They start fighting,
Wow.
and when I see after that, I goes to get him off of her. I see like 5 dudes rushing towards me. I don't know if they was bouncers or you know what I'm saying. So I took that as my sign to dick. Yeah. So I broke out.
Okay.
I broke out. You know what I'm saying? And actually, I left. I kind of left. I felt bad at the time, but I left her and son fighting, but not realizing that it was they beef was more today. It was a lot of more emotions today. What they got going
Right,
on.
right, 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 right.
So you know, I ain't sugarcoating. I left the club and I went around the corner and got my gun and came back. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, these dudes, I'm thinking of some dudes from Bed-Stuy or Crown Heights looking for trouble and picked the wrong one. I went and got my gun and came back. When I came back, my daughter mother coming out of the club, followed closely behind son. You know what I'm saying? He's chasing me out because, like I said, I didn't know how much emotion was involved in their little squabble. But, over the years, I put it all together, doing trial and all that. Because even up to this point, I still didn't know what was going on between them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's crazy.
So when she comes out, he comes out chasing behind her, talking about how he gonna go get his gun and this and that and what he gonna do, boom, boom. But by that point, I was already seeing red. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my mindset back then, I was a young man in a dark place. You know what I'm saying? And the only way I felt was able to settle my dispute was like that. You know what I'm saying? And I did what I'm not proud of it, and I'm not even glorified, but I did what I felt was the only way I felt I could settle my dispute. And in the process, I took a life. You know what I'm saying? And it cost me a lot. It affected my mother, my family. I caused so much damage in the split second. You know what I mean? That that's more traumatic than the prison period. The realization that it only takes a split second to destroy your life and destroy another person's life is what keeps me balanced. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I came home with a new message for these young brothers. Like, listen, it only takes a split second to do something that you're gonna regret for the rest of your life. You know how much brothers I know sitting in prison with natural life. I'm talking about they don't have a chance to come home. You know what I mean? And all of that started in a split. It took a split second for them to throw it all away. And they sitting there forever regretting it. You know what I mean? So I want to let these brothers know, like, listen, man, don't be that next person sitting in prison, crying every day, wishing you didn't make that mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And
You know, you were remorseful. I mean, the things that you did even while you were incarcerated. Can you share with our audience some of the stories, some of the things, some of the initiatives that you helped to create while you were incarcerated, and what led up to Governor Hochul giving you clemency?
Um, my incarceration wasn't always smooth. Early in the bid, I was young. I was a 19-year-old young man in a prison. My 20th birthday was in prison. I spent my 20th birthday in a maximum security prison. Uh, Early on, I had to do what I had to do to fit in to gain my respect. You know what I'm saying? But when I got that respect, I didn't exploit it. I ain't keep feeding it because that's what some people do. They get the respect and they feel like they gotta keep doing things to keep the respect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I realized that that's a path of destruction because you got so many brothers that came to prison with 5, 10 years and end up doing 20, 25 years because they're chasing that rep. You know what I mean? They keep chasing that reputation. But I say, you know what? You could get the same amount of respect for telling a brother the right thing that you could get for telling the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Because you got a lot of brothers, they respect that's gang affiliated. They respect they big homie, and only thing they big homie got to tell have for them is negative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Only thing
Right.
they big homie is telling them, yeah, go do this, and everything they order them to do is things that's gonna destroy their life further. But I want to be that big homie that's telling them like, nah, 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 nah. Go to school, go to college. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of these programs. That way, when you go out there, you know what I'm saying, you could be a better you. You ain't got to make the same mistakes that you made to come here. You know what I'm saying? So one of the greatest driving forces of recidivism is desperation. Like when dudes come out here and they realize that they didn't prepare themselves to be back out here. They didn't learn no trades. They didn't go to no school. So they come out here and the reality of life hit them and they realize, oh shit, now I got to pay bills. Now I got to take care of these kids that I didn't have to take care for all these years. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. And they don't have no skills. They don't have no means. They're not employable. So what they going to do? They're going to do what they know how to do. They're going to pick up a gun and go rob somebody or try to sell some drugs, something like that. And they go right back to jail. So, I did the math on that many years ago. And I was like, you know what? Not only I'm gonna work on myself, but I'm gonna encourage all these brothers that got respect for me for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna encourage them in the right way, not the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Building a reputation for that, build my reputation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got more respect for telling brothers the right thing than I would have for telling them the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
In hindsight. Because when I was released, it was like so many people was happy for me. So many people cried. Like you had CEOs that cried when I was released. Like we're gonna miss you.
Wow.
That's just
Wow.
because of the person I was. So let me explain like some of the things I did in incarcerate. I started by learning how to cut hair. I became a barber. You know what I'm saying? And and that
That's
was
good.
my trade. I got my GED.
Wow.
Um, I took a paralegal course, so I'm a certified like law clerk. I know my way around the law library like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, took anger management. I facilitated anger management. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was the president of CAU. CAU is a prison-based nonprofit organization. CAU stands for the Caribbean African Unity, and is a nonprofit organization that serves the needs of Caribbean men that's in the facility, and culturally and stuff like that. Um, I was a member of that organization from I was my early incarceration. I eventually became the president, the youngest president of the
Wow.
organization. In 2012, I became the president. I was 30 years old, youngest president. And all of that stuff was great experiences for me, it helped build me into the man that I am today. Um, all that time I cut hair, and I use me cutting hair for more than just, financial reasons though, because I use that as like my platform to mentor, because I learned that, after cutting the same person here over and over and over again, y'all build a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Y'all build a bond.
Right.
And if you're the type of person who, if you're the type of person that people feel comfortable speaking to, and you're their barber, then they're gonna open up to you. And
Right. Right.
a lot of people open up to me about their problems over the years. You know what I'm saying? Which was a lot because, being in that type of circumstances, everybody got issues. And I developed, I always ask God to put the right words in my heart. You know what I'm saying? When I'm speaking to people, that way, whatever, the messages that come off right, and it might be the right message for them, whatever they're going through. And I always, like, I develop a reputation as a mentor for men over the years, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that all that was preparing me for this stage of my life now. You know what I mean? Because none of it was done like none of it was planned. All that just happened so organically, Heidi. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was
Yes,
God's,
I definitely I can
like,
relate to that.
it was nothing, it was never a plan, like, yeah, I'm gonna be a barber so I could be a man. No,
God
all that
design.
just you know what I mean? Right.
God's
And
design.
back. So, and to this day I feel like I'm still being used by the most high for whatever reason. And I embrace it, because even the way I became, I was able to be granted clemency, right, is amazing, right? Because, like I said, all those years I was doing the work, kept a positive spirit, always had the right word to tell somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one day in 2022, January 22, out the blue, I get an email from a young lady by the name of Lisa. And what she shared with me changed the course of my bid forever. At the time, I had 21 years in, you know what I mean? And I already was mentally prepared to finish the remaining 4 years, you know what I mean? Because by that time, I'm like, yeah, we at the end, you know what I'm saying? We walking this
Right.
thing down. Uh, but then the Most High came and said this, and she told me, listen, I want to thank you. First, she introduced herself as the cousin of Shane. Shane is the young man that I killed 20 some years ago. She introduced herself. So immediately I got defensive. I'm like, oh man, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? The Victor Fang
Yeah.
about to bash me now. You know what I'm saying? They about, you know what I mean? She told me she wanted to thank me, you know what I mean? And how I'm a hero because from the age of 5 to the age of 9, she was molested by this dude, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And she felt like it wouldn't have stopped if it wasn't for what I done, you know what I mean? And she
Wow.
felt like she went in. She was like, she feel like my actions saved so many children because who knows where he'd have kept going. And it wasn't just her that he was doing it to. He's also molesting another young cousin, um, Charmaine, and two other young boys,
Mm.
Dexter and Ron. You know what I mean? Dexter now, all of them is grown now. All of them is in their 30s now. You know what I mean? Dexter, unfortunately, he turned gay because of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when I sat back and I imagined all that, Heidi, you know what I mean? I
Wow.
gave God the glory because, at the end of the day, he relieved me of my guilt though. 'Cause all the guilt I was carrying for all those years, that
Jesus.
relieved me of that. You know what I mean? And it
Hmm.
showed me that, I have a purpose. Even back then, he used me as an
Right.
instrument, you know what I mean?
Right.
To save
All
them
things for
kids.
his good. All
All
things for
things
his
for his good, Heidi. You know what I'm
all
saying?
things for his good.
And when I think back at how he preserved me all those years in prison, because all those years I was in one of the most violent, um maximum security prisons upstate. And for me to leave out of there without a scratch and well respected. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to bow down some man. I done seen some dudes go through it, man, in many different ways. Some of their making and some is like, I don't know. They just attracted it. But for me to go through all that without a scratch, I gotta say it was the grace of the Most High. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You were preserved. God, God's grace. God's grace.
And he prepared me for, you know what I mean? Because this work, all right, so let me finish tell you. So when Lisa reached out to me, that caused a whole action. You know what I mean? Because she ended her email by saying that, she don't feel like I should be incarcerated, you know what I'm saying? And she's willing to do whatever it takes to help me get out. You know what I'm saying? So I presented that to a lawyer, and the lawyer did the nec- did all the necessary paperwork, got the affidavits from them. All of them wrote me affidavits saying that,
Wow.
yeah. And
Wow.
that prompted Shane's sister, who was my biggest adversary at trial, because she raised him. So he was like a son to her. You know what I mean? So when he died, she took that personally. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And she was going hard. I thought that was his mother at trial, the way she was going hard.
wow.
She told the judge she wanted to make sure that I don't see the light of day again, and this and that. And you know what I mean? No matter what, nothing I said at sentencing was gonna relieve that. You know what I'm saying? So I figured more or less, when it's time for me to go to parole board, I'm gonna have to deal with her again. But God had a different plan. She was once my biggest adversary. She ended up becoming my biggest advocate because she came to visit me. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Yeah, she came to visit me,
Wow.
cried, that we laughed. What was supposed to be a 5-minute visit, because she told me she just wanted to come and tell me that she forgive me. You know what I'm saying? And she wished me
That's
the best. That 5-minute visit turned into a 3-hour visit, Heidi, where we cried, laughed, hugged, we became friends till this day. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I don't call her, if too long go past it, I don't call her, she gonna call me and let me hear it. Why you ain't calling me? You all right? What you doing? Right. So she became my biggest advocate. She didn't stop till she found out I was being released. You know what I'm saying? And
wow.
when I look at that, Heidi, me being a spiritual individual, I gotta give that I gotta, that's the most high all the way. Like,
Absolutely.
I had nothing to do with that. That's all God. You know what I mean? Working it out the way he been had it planned. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. 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 So talk to us about when you received the um uh I guess the notice from Governor Hochul, or how did she reach out to you or your lawyer? How did that?
I was in still in prison, and it was a Friday. It was the Friday before Memorial. It was Friday, Memorial Day weekend. It was that
Yeah, yeah.
Friday, 2024. And I guess a CO came to my cell and said, listen, somebody here to see you. So I'm like, that's strange, because we don't get, well, you got to visit. They let you know you got a visit from your visitors. But it's
Right.
like, somebody here to see you. So they open my cell and I go up there, is the superintendent. So I'm like, I'm puzzled because I'm not putting it together. You know what I mean? I'm
Right, right,
thinking
right.
I'm gonna get a letter from the governor, so I'm not expecting. So the superintendent came and he said, Mr. Swaby, I just came to tell you personally that you're gonna be going home. You got
Wow.
granted clemency, and it messed me up,
Wow.
Heidi. Yeah, because even though I knew my lawyer had put this together, and it's a possibility, because nothing guaranteed. You know what I mean? It was a possibility that I can. They gonna see it and might decide to. You know what I mean? And he came and told me, like, Mr. Slave, I just came to let you know that you're gonna be going home. Can't tell you exactly when, but you're gonna be leaving. Yeah. I just came to let you know I'm signing off on it. So to finalize it. And once I do that, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And when they came, when they came, when the CO came to tell me that somebody's here to see me, I was on my way to a call out. You know what I mean? Because at the time I was facilitating anger management. What I mean by facilitating, I was teaching anger management. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I was helping
right.
brothers that was extremely violent work in ways that, you know, develop ways to work through their anger, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
Instead of
mhm.
reacting spontaneously in ways that's going to destroy your life. That been my goal, you know what I'm saying? That been my thing. So when it came to, I couldn't even go to my call out no more. I couldn't even go to my class no more, Heidi. I had to tell them, listen, man, I need to go lay, you know what I mean? I had to lay
Yes.
down and really process all that. Like after all this, I finally heard the news that I wanted to hear all these years that I'm going home. Like I didn't even know how to. So that whole weekend was like a dream. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
I got
Wow.
I got a chance to call my mom. I called my mother and told her. But when I called, she already knew because my lawyer called her. They was in Paris, they was in England. They went to England for the weekend, and they happened to be in Paris when they got the news. So that was real special for her too. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my gosh. Oh my
Word.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a reason. What a reason to celebrate. You know, and now you home and you doing great things. You out there with the Flossie organization
Man,
trying
Jabril,
to,
that's my guy.
yeah, 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 with Jabril. Yes, yes, yes. Big up Jabril, big up Jabril.
Word.
And you involved in I think what's the other organization? I'm sorry.
TMK. TMK,
TM
that's the acronym for Tailor Made for a King.
Tailor Made for a King. We're gonna reach out to you guys
Yeah,
real soon. We're gonna
My
reach
brother
out to you
Thomas
guys
Haynes,
real
my brother
soon.
Thomas Haynes is the founder. He did a great job, and he's also another brother that gave me a letter of support for my release. You know what I'm saying? And since I've been home, man, this brother he got me around him because the reason why he believed in me so much is because when he was incarcerated, we was together in Green Haven, and when
Okay,
he was in Green Haven, I was the president of CAU at the time.
right.
So he see my leadership skills, my organizational skills, and he know my quality. So it was like a no-brainer for him to bring me into the organization. You know what I mean? And ever since then, man, he had put me in a position where I could excel. You know what I mean? And I'm just
Yes.
been being me, been doing what I've been doing. You know?
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Thank
Welcome
you.
home, my brother. It's been a 5 months after a long journey.
After a long
I
journey,
know that you're going to be doing some phenomenal work in our communities. You
by the
hooked
grace
up
of
with
God,
some great, great people, and you're doing great things. You back in the barbershop again,
that's a fact, and still
so
mentoring.
I know that you getting into these young men's ears and,
Absolutely,
pouring positivity back inside of them, even if it's just a haircut, that time does make a difference. And it's so funny. It's so funny that you even recognize that because that's something that, you and I spoke about having these conversations in
conversations.
other barbershops and, just letting them know how important that time is when these young men come and sit in your seat to know what you're saying to them, know what they're exposed to. Sometimes the barbershop is real drama,
Nah,
so
fact.
sometimes you got to shut that stuff down when you understand that a young man is in your presence and, turn the trajectory of certain conversations so that they can get the best out of that type of experience. And I just really appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate your time and you coming on. And like I said, you and I are going to we collaborated on this project, this particular, Real Talk project where, we're gonna have a lot more people coming
Coming
on
on, yeah,
and telling their story and using this platform to get to the younger generation so they know don't make mistakes, don't make the same mistakes I did. It
right,
only
right.
takes a second to change your whole life,
Whole life.
and change the life of so many others. You said your baby mother, you said your child, you said your mother, you said their mother, you said it's so many people. It's so
That's
many
gonna be hurting because of
that's
that
going
one
to be
action.
hurting by a decision that you made, and it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
So we're going to continue talking. We're going to continue pushing through. I thank you again, my brother, for coming on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
I
and
want
anytime you want to jump on, just give me a call. You know what it is. Shoot me a text. Be like, yo, Heidi, I got something to talk about, or we out here doing something. You know, you got Trendsetters support. Just let me
definitely
know what you
appreciate that.
got going on, and the Trendsetters is gonna show up and support whatever it is that you guys got going on in the community. I thank you so much. I thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
This
Heidi.
is Jermaine Swaby, y'all. I'll give y'all his details. Big up the barber shop.
Big up, come check me. And I want to leave your audience with a message that, what they say, a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others. So I want y'all to learn from mine, you know what I mean? Because I did enough time to serve for the whole village. You know what I mean? I don't want no more of my young brothers doing no more time in the prison, man, because they up there, they killing us, man. I don't know if anybody familiar with what just happened to Robert Brooks, but if you look up the name Robert Brooks, you will see how they brutalize black black men in these prisons, man. There's no place for us. So, we gotta think before we do things out here in these streets, man. You know what I mean? And
It's
mess
not
our lives
pretty.
up.
It's
It's
not
not pretty.
pretty. It's
It's
not
not
pretty. It's not pretty.
at all.
Well, I thank you again. And, this is not going to be our last conversation. Like, we're going to be doing things together collaboratively in the community. And we doing this real talk right now.
That's a
We
fact. That's
got
a
this real
fact.
talk platform, a couple of other positive brothers you're gonna have come
Thank
my
you. Come
way.
in.
And I appreciate all your support.
No problem, Heidi. Thank you for having me again.
You take care.
All right, you too. Peace.